Hello, everybody. This has been such a long couple weeks. This has been a long couple weeks. I never thought I was going to get this third episode done. I've actually had people ask, when I say I've had people ask me when the next episode is coming, this has real quick been one of the most awesome experiences ever. When somebody asked me when the next episode was coming and they were tired of waiting, it was so motivating. It was the most. So thank you everybody for that. The support has been crazy. My family, my friends, people I've never met before. Instagram has been awesome. People all over Instagram just are like just encouraging me. We just within the psychedelic community, we just celebrated what was the first ever International Microdosing Day, and I shared a story, and I'll share it right here, right now. I used to have a huge issue taking Adderall. It was never really even an addiction. I just couldn't stop. I appreciated what I was able to do from it. When I say I quit cold turkey, when I finally quit, just because of the realization it was not an option anymore to keep taking it, I just quit. Never had any withdrawals, nothing like that. So I don't, and that's actually something I'm gonna take a quick moment actually to touch on this. There's a moment in this episode where I say addiction is a choice. Addiction is not a choice for everybody. I know this. Anytime I've had an issue where I could not stop taking a recreational drug, it was a choice for me. So now I keep the standard within my own life that addiction is a choice. So no offense to anybody who truly struggles with chemical addiction and drug addiction. This is something I have to say to keep myself going and keep me understanding myself and why I had a problem with certain drugs. And one of the drugs I had a problem with was Adderall. So when I started microdosing, and this is within the last couple of months, literally within, not last couple of months, probably the last 6 months, when I started realizing I was about to be getting off of probation and a lot of things in my life were coming back together and back to normal, I started microdosing LSD again on a very regular regimen and quickly realized that I had completely convinced myself that I had a problem with Adderall. And when I say I just stopped, and I don't even want it for any purposes anymore, everything that I got from it, I can get sober easily. Now, as I said, I did use a drug to kick the habit, and I still do regularly microdose. But I can literally now, if I don't want to microdose, I don't have to for 2 weeks. I've tested this theory. It's simple. It really just came down to coming to terms with the fact that I had convinced myself that I had a problem. Did not have a problem. So yeah, back on the whole, the feedback has been amazing. When I shared this story on my Instagram, I had key members of the microdosing community and the psychedelic community sharing my story for other people to hear and other people to enjoy. And people were commenting and messaging me, telling me how proud of me they were that I kicked this problem that I used to have. And that was amazing. So thank everybody so much for that. I mean that. Thank you. But yeah, this has been a long couple weeks, and there's just been a lot of drama in my own life, a lot of coming and going, entering and leaving, dealing with past baggage, past drama, just all kinds of, the life stuff, the real life stuff. Me and my roommate slash brother trying to come up with ideas about how we're gonna handle things with life going forward. It has just been a nonstop couple weeks of accepting reality, making plans for the future, and I just have not had time. I only got one blog post done, and this is just stuff that means so much to me. So today was just great. Whew. I feel accomplished. I feel so accomplished. And that's not to say that I don't appreciate this alone time, as you could call it. And I guess that's what it is. It's that time when, I'm still going out. I'm going to work. I'm living my life, paying my bills. I see the same people I still see every day. But I'm barely physically present that I'm I'm really by myself in my head contemplating life and everything related to it all day long. We've all been there. It's that shutdown period where people start looking at you and going, "You just haven't been yourself lately." Well, no shit. No shit. That happens, and that alone time is so crucial though, because it gives you time to sit there and reflect, and something that can be off rip in a very emotional, traumatizing experience. I don't care what it could be. You could lose a job, you could lose a family member, you could go through a bad breakup, you could have a falling out with one of your elementary school best friends over something very elementary. Like it doesn't matter what it is, but that alone time, it just gives you such good time to just sit there and really figure all this stuff out. And now, here I am, a couple weeks later. Got a little delayed a little bit, but I got a lot figured out. I figured out a lot of people who really were my friends, a lot of people who really weren't my friends. Me and my brother got everything understood. We've came to all these understandings. Everybody is better than they were 2 weeks ago. But it's all because we all took that alone time, and we took that time to sit there and reflect and remember what the purpose of it all is and why we go through all this stuff. Are you worth it? Am I worth it? Who and why are we even here? And now we're back. Now, today, we're right back like it never happened. That alone time is so important. And people a lot of times are gonna sit there and they're gonna hit you with that "you just haven't been yourself lately" type shit that I was talking about. And you just have to try to take the time to explain to them that right now you just need you. You got to do you, and go do you. Get it figured out. And it's honestly really neat, because the whole point of this show is about how I figured a lot of this stuff out through psychedelics, and to spread this idea and this knowledge of psychedelics. And I did all this sober over the last couple weeks. I figured it all out wholeheartedly in a clear, present state of mind. Now, that's not to say that I'm not waiting for the next opportunity to trip and understand and really meditate about it. But it was such a liberating 2 weeks. This alone time was amazing. And it's given me this newfound like drive for things I want to try to do. I want to save up some money. I want to go around. I want to experience this world so different in a newfound form of this alone time. I want to go see meditation retreats, spiritual retreats. I want to go to festivals and meet people of all walks of life. It's really time to start checking off these experiences, because I've found a new level of wealth in the last couple months that I've never seen, and it only exists inside my head. Nobody else could ever see it or measure it with an amount or a number, and it's just the only number of I'm trying to measure wealth in is to make that possible. This has been an experience. This has been great, and it's never going to end at this point. If we can keep this going, and the energy I've had because of this is going to go on forever. So now actually leading into the episode. First of all, I'm sorry, Mom. There's a moment where I discussed the idea of trying other drugs that I've not tried yet that might be very shunned upon in the future. Please understand where I'm coming from when I have this conversation. You probably are not going to agree with what I'm saying, but c'est la vie. My guest today is my twin. I'm white. He's black. I'm older. He's younger. We don't look anything alike. Don't even have any of the same family. That's my twin, though. You know what I mean? It's just how it is. So I had to bring him on just because I'm really trying to. I have such a diverse friend pool. I've had one of my white hippie friends on here. I had my Asian friend on here. Now I've had one of my black friends on here. Soon I want to have a female on here too. I have friends of, like I've said, all walks of life. And it's so important to see how these topics we talk about are unique to these different cultures, because every aspect in you has its own culture. I'm a hippie. I'm a gamer. I'm white. I am a male. I am non-religious for the most part. All of these things have a culture behind them, and they all have their own point of view on things like psychedelics and meditation and how to grow as a person. So I'm very excited today to have my twin on here. Now I get to check another one of those boxes off. So soon I hope to really just have this endless portfolio available to me and everybody else of just endless perspectives on life for everybody to sit here, so they can finally stop looking at everybody and being so you're not like me, we're different, you don't like what I like. We all have the same goal here. We're just trying to be happy, and we all have our own way to do it. And it all involves all similar aspects: spirituality, recreational, I guess. I don't want to say drug use, but it's almost everybody has their way of getting high. Whether you run, you go exercise at the gym, you smoke marijuana. Like, it's just. So by the time I'm done, we can all just sit here for once and stop this bullshit. And we can just go, hey, that's crazy. You're just like me. Because we all know a lot about ourselves, but we don't know enough about that next person, and that next person, and that next person. And that's the world we live in. It's not the earth. It's this collective of individuals all over the earth that are constantly impacting it every single day. Why the fuck do you think the way you think when I think this way? Well, let's go ahead and let's hop into this interview real quick. We're gonna try to understand why my good friend here thinks the way he does, and a little bit more about why I think the way I do. And maybe it'll just help us all understand a little bit more as a whole why we're in this situation we're in as people. Let's go. Let's check it out. I gotta get comfortable. Yeah, this man's free today.
Right? Got the hair out.
He said got the hair out. It's a whole look.
Started my anime supervillain, was it origin story?
What's gonna be your first superpower? If you could have any superpower in the world, but it was the only one you could ever have, what would you have?
Pat and I just had this conversation.
Okay, so you're fresh on this.
Teleportation. I'd want to be able to just fucking Nightcrawler this shit out and just boop boop, I'm out. Like, because I can do pretty much whatever with that.
Was he able to teleport anywhere? Was there or was it close proximity?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if there was but yeah, I guess Nightcrawler might be a bad example. But yeah, I'd want to be able to teleport I'm in fucking Uganda right now. Or I'm over there in your room. I don't know. I just want to be able to just teleport.
That shit would be cool. I'm trying to think now. Now I got to come up with something.
I was going to say, here's a close number 2 while you're thinking all that. I'd want to be like Wolverine, no claws, and I'd want to be able to age. I don't need the fucking adamantium claws and no shit like that.
You want the rapid healing.
Yeah, I can get shot 50, 11 million times and not die. I can fucking get in a car accident and not die. But, I age out, I want to get, 80 and just, it's over with. That'd be fire. I would do a lot of bad shit, though, probably.
Now, I would say you're not wrong. Teleportation's probably the most valuable
For
thing
like
I could think
motherfuckers like
of.
you would be like,
Bro, I can't think of anything more valuable because I've had that conversation with other people, I think, and I've said teleportation would be the.
flying.
Yeah, fuck flying. Flying does nothing for me. It literally does nothing for me. It's cool, but it's not practical. Um, Super strength is practical, but I'd rather teleport. Uh, I do not, under any circumstances on this planet, want to read minds.
no, please would.
I would never want that.
I would
burden.
never want that problem. Another like, what's another like really fucked up like? Yeah, anything like I wouldn't want mind control powers either. Like I wouldn't want to like, cause like I know that like I wouldn't be like one of those fucked up ass people making people do crazy shit. Like I would definitely use it for my personal gain, but it's like I wouldn't even want to be able to like manipulate people to that degree. Like that'd just be weird.
I feel like that's one of those superpowers that you literally could not say how you would handle it if you don't have it. Because it's one of those things that could truly destroy somebody.
That shit might fuck me. Because
Mind
like,
control? What? Especially if it's if you can unconsciously control minds, like in the sense that you tap into their mind and brainwash them, versus you have to channel the mind control.
Right, like if we can just have a conversation, I can be like, "Oh yeah, grab me that water bottle," or pass me that water bottle, and you just naturally do it.
Correct.
Like that gets scary. Most people would fuck that up. So I can't say I might not fuck that up, like, because if I think my girl's cheating on me or some shit like that.
Tell me the truth.
And then what if she's not? Now I feel like a fucking asshole because I just did that. Like, that would fuck with me. Like, that would bother me. And, like, my psyche, like, nah, let me just teleport and do, like, wild shit. Let me be able to get shot and not die. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I definitely would like. I think. But you want to know what? If I would like the ability to rapid heal like Wolverine, of course. I feel like I would really like to. These dogs, bro. This is crazy. Every episode of this I have this world outside my room that is loud and rambunctious and crazy.
It's like we're on our own little separate planet.
Yeah, I swear
it's like the
to
planet
God.
Namek.
But
you got like little fucking, and then everything else around and just be wild.
And it's just so funny because like I won't even allow Morty in here for this. I allowed him in here at the beginning of the Jonah one when I didn't record Jonah for 6.5 minutes. And by then Morty had pissed me off, so he had to go. So then we started back over, and ever since then he will not be in here because he tries to do too much. But that shit's just so funny. But
yeah, your children are live wires.
But I would really want the ability to not feel physical pain if I wanted to go down that road because I'm gonna start being wild. God, or do you think you get used to it? Do you think the tolerance builds up? First time you get shot, it's crazy, and then the 11th time you get shot, you just good to go.
Remember, I forgot what fucking X-Men movie it was, but I feel like you probably saw it too. We were kids, but it was like they asked him, they were like,
"Does it hurt?"
And he was every time.
Every time. It was the first one.
Yep. And he just like, and he was just so chill doing it. Like he literally fucking will pull him up slowly, quickly. Like it just, yeah. I feel like you would probably
I think
just
it was
phase
Rogue.
out.
I think it was Rogue who just asked.
Oh
him.
yeah, actually yeah, I remember that whole little scene now.
I think it was after he got in a fight with Sabretooth or whatever at the very beginning, and they were driving off or whatever.
Right.
They were walking away. They were walking. She was like, "Does it hurt?" He was like, "Every time." He killed that part. He looks just like that part. You were talking about somebody who was born to play a role.
Like Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, like that is perfect for him. Like obviously he doesn't look like Deadpool clearly, but he still is perfect for Deadpool.
Oh man. So I always titled the episode as my guest's name. So what am I just gonna go with Bacca?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. I'll just put
That'll
that.
work.
The masked figure, unmasked.
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, because they're getting a little bit more insight. Because I can be a lot more like comfortable on this show, and because I don't have to be PC about the shit that I'm saying. Like, I don't want to ever say like on the other show, like on for real, I don't want to say like the wrong person's name or like expose somebody that probably doesn't want to be exposed. Or
because you don't owe the only person you owe respect to here is you.
Right.
You owe respect to more people on the other show, and that's going to become a personality as well on the other show that people are going to grow to enjoy. So it's like, I feel you. This is so much more.
No, this is me.
This is so exposed. This shit's cool, but as I had I had to ask that because I got to put my little
Oh, yeah, no,
with
that'll
special
work.
guest.
Right, Bacca. However the fuck you want to spell that, I don't care.
And then I'll put a little, the masked man unmasked.
Announcer voice in quotations. Like,
And then unmasked is really just like a deep level unmasked.
feel out who I am as a person.
That shit. When I look at a lot of the people representing the psychedelic community online, and this is just completely real from my observation, I don't see a lot of big faces in that community representing the black community. And I think it's really cool. One of the first things you actually said when I asked you about doing this was psychedelics in the black community or whatever
Right.
it was, because you were like, it's a
like
whole different thing with us, bro.
It's damn near like taboo. Like, I know black people that will, like, they will not fuck with, like, even a microdose. Like, you taking mushrooms, you taking acid or LSD, like, fuck that, nah. But they'll pop 3 Percocet 30s or like 2 Roxy 30s or whatever and be...
Which is crazy, because I will say in my experience too, as far as when it does come to psychedelics that I have known more of my black friends to do, mushrooms will be more used than acid.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, Percocets are not remote. I mean, opiates are naturally derived, but I'd rather, like, you want to, people, it's the same person that will tell me, oh no, I'm not fucking with that LSD, that's a chemical.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel what you mean.
Yeah. It's a lot more taboo. It's almost like a... Like, I always grew up looking at it like a hippie, you know, like just hippies did psychedelics, you know, like it was like a Jimi Hendrix was the only black person I knew that like did psychedelics. He's the only black, like
Man
that was
had amazing hair.
fire ass hair. Jimi Hendrix was a cool ass motherfucker in general. I wish like we would have been able to even like just go to a concert at that time. Like I don't even know his music like that, but I know that nigga's dope. He makes some dope ass music. But like at that time as a kid, that was the only motherfucker that did psychedelics. That was anything of color. Like it was just it, or Native Americans with like their peyote or like shit like that, like the peace pipe or like whatever. Like there might be something a little extra with it. That was the only thing that I thought whenever I thought psychedelics as a kid.
I believe peyote was the more, especially in the Americas, what Native Americans that were originally from this area did.
Okay.
Because I think once you get to your South America, where you like your more shamanistic like stuff like that, I think that's where you start finding your ayahuasca and your stuff like that. But I believe here, because everybody had what they had local to them,
Right.
So I do know like the plants that had high amounts of DMT in it. There's a lot of those down in that area where mescaline is native to it grows. Peyote grows naturally in like the Arizona area, parts of Texas, Mexico, stuff like that. So it's like, you know, people had what they had. So yeah, mescaline, that's the only experience I ever have with it. I couldn't tell you. I was still a partier.
Right.
So it's like I didn't have the respect for it that I do now. I really want to try to do it again sometime. But that's I've heard it's very grounding.
How similar is mescaline to peyote and like the effect?
It's the same thing. It's
This is what they're making it out of.
Peyote is a cactus, and the active ingredient in peyote is mescaline.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, this girl I knew, it was like I was in high school still. She lived in Cali. I don't even know how the fuck I met her. Keep it real. Whatever. Long story long. She did that and
Keep talking.
yeah, they're probably chewing on something. Yeah, she did it and like it was like her and her homegirl. And, like, they had to, like, they ended up having to, like their mom had to get involved and go. You know you fucked up. No, I can't save you. No, ma'am. No. You know you're bugging. Cadence, go.
This is so funny.
Get out. Go. Oh, you slick fucker. Go. Go. You are so big and such a baby at the same time. Yep, getting carried just like a baby. Colin.
Behave.
That was insanity.
I might have to. That one will have some video work done.
It's always gonna be the one with me. That shit was funny as fuck. I seen her dart in here, and I was like, "What the fuck is she doing?" At first, and I could tell by her tail curled. I was like, "You fucked up. You fucked up. I know this look because my dog makes the same fucking face. What did you do? What did you do, you light-skinned, adorable child? Like,
every episode of this show has a pet distraction. Usually it's Morty distracts me from a deep thought, which might still happen, of course.
right. Boom.
And
I can even bring it back, though, because I actually I just remembered what the fuck we're talking about.
Well, real quick, just to throw this out here for the people who don't have a video, because this is much more streamed than it is watched. My pit bull was outside where we record in the room outside chewing on something that she wasn't supposed to be chewing on. And I hear a plastic clicking noise, so I went out to stop her. When I stopped her, she took the opportunity to bolt in through the open doorway. And she ran around hiding from me, trying to get away from me for a minute, slipped out of her collar. I had to pick her up, her old big ass,
Like a child.
like a child, her big old 60, 70 pound, like monster. She's a big pit bull. And carry her out of the room. And now, here we are. Thank y'all for joining us on the rabbit hole today. Oh my God, that was so funny. We were talking about peyote and mescaline. That shit was...
And that fucking big ass dog. See, that's something that like people don't really. I know you and Jonah touched on it for sure, but like people gotta understand. Like if like I was tripping right now, that would have fucked me up. Like, that would have fucked me up. That big old dog running in this room. And I know her. She's a sweetheart. Like, she's such a loving dog. It would have been too much.
It's an energy shift.
Yep.
I will tell you, though, I do have a very terrifying story. I was with my dad and my stepmom. It was the same time they came into town that you met them.
Oh, word.
And we went to Wilmington. And I took 3 hits of acid. And we stopped at the store, and I was in the back seat with their Rottweiler, and their Rottweiler Zoe is big. She's a big baby boy, but when I was in the back seat with her on 3 hits of LSD, I guess somewhere she was a rescue, and I hit a trigger of hers. Something about the way I touched her, grabbed her was a trigger. I don't know what it was. My dad said it might have had something to do if I was petting her around her neck, if I grabbed her around the neck the wrong way. That's been known to do it. Mm-hmm. But she snapped, and big 120-pound Rottweiler, 110-pound Rottweiler. Sorry, I put my hand in front of the mic, but 110, 120-pound Rottweiler snaps, turns around on me, bars her teeth, growling at me, drooling, just barking at me. And I'm off at 3 hits of acid, bro. So she looks like she's about to murder me. I back out of the car eventually. I get out the car, shut the door, heart racing. And my dad and Carol they're walking up to me, and they see me. They're like, "Why are you outside the car?" I said, you got to do something. I'm not, it's too much. Can't do it right now. No.
Nope. Yo, that was like I mean, obviously completely different. This didn't have a dog involved, but like minorities and psychedelics, like where like these were two. I can say all these people's names honestly. It was my buddy friend, his sister, who's like around my age, and his girlfriend at the time. All 4 of us. Friend and I probably do like a hit or like a 2, like they do like a half a hit or whatever. It was, I believe, one of their, if not both of their first time ever doing a psychedelic, I'm pretty sure. So like everything's fine. We're at my crib, very familiar place to everybody. I've been acclimated at this point with psychedelics, friends acclimated with psychedelics at this point. So like we don't need to anchor or anything. Like we got everything we need there. Food, blunts, all that shit, everything. We're just chilling. And night's going along. We're just having a great time listening to fucking Kevin Gates fucking music on like repeat, random fucking song. I can't even remember what the fuck it was. But Fran's homeboy calls him. Big ass dude, bro. He's a bouncer at a club that like whatever. He's a bouncer at a club around here, whatever. Big ass motherfucker. He played college football too, all this shit. Like 6'2", like 2 something. Like he's anyway. Big ass black dude. So we're all hanging out. He comes over or whatever, and like we kind of like had that moment too where we were like, should we have somebody that's not tripping come over here? Like this is late as fuck. It's probably like at least 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock, because he's a bouncer. He's getting off work, so either he got off a little earlier, like whatever. So like club letting out times basically. He comes over.
And this is especially, everything you're about to say is very crucial with LSD especially, because people do not understand how much more influential their subtle behavior is on people on LSD versus something like mushrooms. Mushrooms are simpler,
It's
but
a lot more like
you have to be calm with people on LSD.
right. And this was not a calm situation. Oh
I
no,
could-
that
I-
was a good. You
oh,
had
yeah,
to,
'cause I
but
could-
that's why I'm giving so much detail.
I could already
Like,
tell
I
where
gotta
you were
paint
going
this
there a
picture.
little bit,
I think
so
we
I was-
talked about this. I'm sure we did. But this dude comes over, whatever. He's got like a plate of food, and like he's chill ass dude, good energy, like good person to be around. That's another reason why we weren't worried. He comes over, we're hanging out. Probably like 30 minutes goes on. We smoke a couple blunts, whatever. Everybody's vibing, having a good time. He's eating his food. My homeboy friend has a dab pen, has like wax in it and everything. Like he lived in a legal state at the time. He was just visiting. Like it was something that he made, whatever. So it was strong as fuck. Like shit was strong as fuck. Like so. And the dab pen was set up cool because like it literally had like a little chamber to where you could just see the wax in it, and like you could see it kind of like volcano up and like kind of go up to the top. It was really aesthetically pleasing. Obviously,
it looked more like it was dabs and a pen versus whatever you'd be seeing with this.
like the wax, like the oil pens. It was nothing. Like
Yeah, it was more like they put shatter in a fucking, and you were hitting a dab.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so.
It smells probably when you smoke it a little
Oh,
more
it,
than
that
like
shit is gas. It smells like you smoking a dab. It smells like you just hit a dab. So now, mind you, this I gotta go back to how big this motherfucker is, and how I got also throw in there. My living room is not the biggest. Okay, this dude hits a big ass dab. Me and my homeboy just watching it because it's like I said, like watching that little thing go up. We had been hitting it all night, so it was just cool to watch anybody hit it. We're watching him hit it. We both probably realized at the same time as we're tripping. I was like, damn, he hit the fuck out that shit. He's coughing. He's a dramatic dude, funny as hell. Like I said, he's coughing up a lung. He gets out of his chair. He's like walking forward, like towards like where my TV's at. There's like a little coffee table in front of us. We're all sitting on the couch. He was sitting in like a whole separate chair to like the side of us or whatever. He's coughing his lungs up. We're thinking he's being dramatic, but he did hit a big ass dab. Nigga passes clean the fuck out. Passes out, hits my coffee table, pushes that back a couple feet. You know how heavy my coffee table is. The fact that he pushed that shit back into my leg. That's how hard he naturally fell. He dabbed himself right the fuck to sleep.
That's crazy.
Now to
I've
bring
never
it
in
back,
my life, and I hit a hell of a dab, bro. I've never in my life.
he was not a dabber. We'll throw that in there too. He didn't hit dabs like that. He'll smoke some wax, but he didn't hit, like he hit a big boy dab.
That's crazy.
That nigga dabbed himself to sleep. He passed out, did a little, reboot or whatever. But like, mind you, all four of us are on acid. The girls immediately lose their shit. Fran and I have like a little moment where it's like, damn, like there was like probably like what felt like a minute, but there was probably like a little 3-second long period where we're kind of looking at him like, this nigga dead? Like you're tripping. Like you don't really know what's all going on all the way. And like he started doing the normal shit, like started like kind of waking up a little bit and shit. So like him and I have seen mad niggas get knocked the fuck out or like pass out and shit like that at this point. So like even though we're tripping, like it becomes funny to us, He knocked his plate of food over. It's this whole dramatic ass scene. So we're crying, laughing at this point. The girls are over it. They want him to leave. They want nothing to do with like the rest of the trip at this point. They don't even want to be hot. Like it fucked their shit up and it made like my buddy and our trips like a little bit better. Granted, we kind of mellowed him out as like the night went on, but like he had to go. Like once he kind of like got himself together, like we were all like, yo, like we're all tripping. You kind of fucked it up for them. Like you got to dip. Like because it was their first time doing that. So
I was telling Jono when I talked to him, we were talking about a time when it was old buddy. If anything happens to my mother's house, I'll kill that guy.
Yeah,
it was that guy. He came.
Knocking?
Nah, that's music outside.
Oh, true.
Dogs would be barking.
That's true, yeah.
But so he came over, and this is one of those examples of your behavior is so crucial. And like I knew from the moment I was on the phone with him that
this is not gonna be a good experience.
He said, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm off like 3 hits of acid right now." He said, "I'm on my way," and just hung up the phone. So like, I just knew. So he just, and there's no real craziness to the story, but it was like,
Yeah, just that one experience that shifted your energy.
and he was so extra that it literally made me not want him ever around me whenever it comes to something like acid ever again. So like, I mean, I can only imagine people who have never done a psychedelic in their life seeing something like that. They're never going to want to do one ever again. Completely misunderstanding of the potential that is actually there.
Oh yeah, both of them have done. They both like psychedelics.
They do now.
Yeah,
That's good. That makes me happy.
Yeah, they did it afterwards, and like I said, we mellowed them out like throughout the rest of the night. But it was ice skating uphill for a little bit there. Like it was because like, and it was valid. Like I understood that they were like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And it was like, "No, he's good." Like, but they had probably not seen a lot of people pass out or like in general. So like that on top of like,
he looks dead to them at first.
You're tripping. Yeah, he looked dead to us at first. I seen mad niggas get knocked out. Like mad niggas pass out. Like I passed out. Like
your body goes gone. Like
he went full. Like and he was just up and just went. I was like, God, like a sack of potatoes, bro. Like that shit was fucking hilarious once that shit happened. But that reminds me of like another fucking situation with like where it's like certain people can kind of fuck up your vibe a little bit. Like I won't say like either of these ladies' names. It was a while ago. Like that was neither one of them probably even hear this, but. Well, hopefully one day they do. But regardless, I was dealing with these two different girls at the time. I was single. It wasn't like I was like playing them or anything. Like, and it was whatever. Long story long. I liked them both, but I was trying to figure out which one I liked more at the time. And I was tripping with my friends. Probably a like similar group that I was with that night. It might have been like around that same time. Who fucking knows? But regardless, we're all like tripping, hanging out, having a good time. Everybody was tripping. And I remember like everybody was kind of like booed up at the time. And like I just wanted like just some intimate shit from a girl I fucked with just to like kind of hang out with, And like one of the girls I was dealing with, she was already planning on coming over anyway. So like we hung out, whatever. And like she was being so extra at that time, like wanting like more physical stuff. And like I'm just wanting like intimate, like I'm trying to chill. I'm tripping. I'm in space. Like I'm not trying to have sex right now. Like I'm chilling. And like it was her energy that like made her energy in that moment kind of fucked it up for me and kind of fucked up my trip a little bit. That like I was like, yo, like I'm gonna just get up with you tomorrow. Like I just want to trip out with the homies, whatever. I had the other girl come over. She was completely sober. Everybody else tripping balls. She's very nurturing anyway, so she just played like fake anchor. None of us needed her to be an anchor. She didn't have to do anything, but like she's hanging out, making sure I'm good, like got food for me, like not asking me if I'm good, just kind of hanging out, watching the movie, rubbing my head, laughing at the same little goofy shit that we're laughing at because we're tripping balls, which she thinks is funny. I end up dating her, like later on down the line because that was a bonding moment that I realized where I was like, damn, like I could be on a whole different plane of existence in you and like you still get me, like, and me and that girl are still like cool to a certain extent, but it's like I don't know, obviously we weren't meant to be, but in that time like she was definitely the better choice for me to like deal with in that moment, just because like in that time period that's what I needed someone that was gonna be nurturing and shit like that, because the other girl fucked my trip up for a little bit. I was like, no, you're doing too much. I gotta go. Like, or you gotta go, because it was my house. So I wasn't going nowhere. I was tripping my ass off.
Yeah. That, talking about tripping around females. Well, I guess the other sex, because it could go either way. You could be a female talking about tripping around men. Tripping around anyone you're emotionally interested in is a different experience. Very different experience. And like we were saying, like you have to understand how to conduct yourself around someone, because tripping is a significantly more emotional ride than it is a sexual ride. Like if you wanna go down that road, like there are drugs that are better suited for that.
Like it's an intimate thing.
Yeah, but LSD is not necessarily the one that's better suited for the sexual ride. Now you can have an amazing sexual experience, but it's usually driven from an emotional, intimate connection and bond to begin with. So like, cause I know I've connected with a lot of girls over psychedelics, but I've only connected with one through the use of psychedelics. And when I say that got to a situation where it didn't matter the fact that she was in a relationship at the time or anything. Just that unbelievable, natural, intimate compatibility during that time made us not give a shit about whoever the fuck what else was out in this world. And we continued to go down this rabbit hole of how we felt about each other through the use of psychedelics, regardless of this situation. And that shit is not, it's almost like to this day, like this was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, to this day, I still crave a connection with a female on an intimate level like that, just because it didn't matter the fact we were compatible on psychedelics. Right. Egos dissolved. Everything just natural, basic instinct just meant that this is what I wanted.
Right.
So it was crazy. That's and I still to this day, and I mean, I'm terrified to this day to ever trip with another female. Like the idea of that same person just recently talked to me about doing psychedelics together again. And I entertained it. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like that. That'd be fun. But still in the back of your head, it's like, yo.
Right.
Because you're rewired for life. They are that strong. They really are that strong. People don't want to admit they're that strong. They want to think it's just a drug. It's just a drug. I mean, no drug is just a drug.
It's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you fucking hit some meth, smoke some crack, it's an experience. Yes, you're doing a drug. I don't want everyone to experience those experiences, but that is an experience. Like, if you do some LSD and you bond with another human being, like, that's an experience. Like, whenever, like, I was in Wilmington and, like, two of my friends that, like, don't even really do psychedelics like that, like, we all tripped some mushrooms and, like, we bonded over that. Like, we all, like, appreciated nature more and shit. And we're just sitting in my homeboy's backyard, just chilling. Like, all of us just listening to Bob Marley for, so like, basic, 8 hours. Though. Like, but we had a lot more of appreciation for the little things after that, like just our friendship in general, life. Like, my homeboy had like a whole breakdown about like fucking racism and like how he hated it and shit like that. He was comparing it to how like a burnt blade of grass and a green ass blade of grass are still fucking grass and shit like that. Like, he had like a whole breakthrough and shit. Like, not like he was racist or no shit like that, but he was just like, he equated it down to something through nature and like just something so simplistic that like it fucked him up, and like he had to share it with us in that moment. And like even like now, like thinking back on it, obviously I'm not tripping, but it's like I remember how passionately he was speaking on that. I remember how it made me feel to like see him so elated to be like, no, fuck racism, all that shit is stupid. Like, shit's funny looking back on it, but it's like he felt that shit, and like that's still energy, you know, like that's still an experience. Like, I'll never forget that shit. I get fucking Alzheimer's tomorrow. Hit my head, get dementia. But I'll probably still remember that shit. Like, that's it's just what it is. Like, it's crazy how shit like that works, though.
I wasn't sure if, my bad, I wasn't sure if that one was the front door.
I was about to say, I could tell if, like, bro came home, like, from work or whatever, like you said, or, like, if it was a dog's dogging again.
Yeah, they just be loud as hell. No, that's bro. I heard a door just open. That's cool. That's funny as hell. I think the only one of my friends I've ever actually, the only one of my, like, homies I've ever actually taken psychedelics with is Panda. I've taken psychedelics around a lot of you.
Right. But, yeah, actually, like, together, then, like, yeah, we about to trip together.
And then, of course, the girl I was just talking about.
Right.
And back in high school, we used to take them together, but we were just partying. But I did find out through doing them with other people, like, I don't know, because I do appreciate the meditative, like, introspective, like, looking back aspect of everything, and it's harder with other people. I will say that the beauty of a psychedelic is that when the moment's finally over, I'm stuck in that jet lag where I'm forced to still think about what's happened. But when you're with other people and you're having fun, like, it is very easy. I've had a whole 12-hour experience watching Adventure Time, And like, yes, I had a great time. I noticed cool little things, funny little things I never noticed in the show before. But the reason I take psychedelics gets taken out a lot. I've never
Right.
really.
You're doing it for a different experience.
Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I've ever actually. Now that I honestly think about it, this is crazy. This just kind of slapped me in the face as I was rambling for a second. I don't know if I've ever really had like a truly just pure meditative introspective experience when I've taken psychedelics with another person. Now that just might be getting lost in the reason I do it or the people I've done it with. It's always just been fun from start to finish when I've done it with other people, where when
Right.
I'm by myself, especially when I'm by myself, even if I'm in the same room with other people who are sober, it's very easy for me to lose myself. But there's something about that. There's a frequency going on when multiple people are on a psychedelic together that
for
makes it
sure.
hard to not fuck with each other.
Right.
Even if you're just bullshit and having deep conversation like this. Now that conversation will sound significantly crazier
To a sober person.
to a sober
Because
person.
everybody tripping, they get
Well-
everything that's being spoken of.
Well, and people who have done psychedelics realistically, even if they're sober, can get other stuff, can get exactly what you're talking about, all the way down to when I was talking to Jono, in which we talked about this in that episode about the mansion in my head type shit.
It's almost like during that trip with my buddies in Wilmington, like I was actually, that was the first time, because you know me, I kind of use psychedelics for a purpose too, in a sense where it's like I'm trying to like not necessarily figure some shit out, but I'm seeing like I'm trying to get the most out of it. Where I was telling you, I was like writing shit down that one time.
There's a whole perspective shift, so I might as well, I can have fun, but I got to take some time while I'm thinking different, because this isn't going to last forever.
Correct. So I literally made sure that I carry around this little like notebook with me. I still have it to this day, and like I wrote down.
You know me, I fuck with that.
And like I've said it a million times probably, but like I literally just said it to my parents yesterday, like while we were at little fucking Memorial Day cookout or whatever. I was like, there's a million ways to make $1 million. I literally wrote that down while I was tripping my fucking nuts off in Wilmington, like just having a fucking ball. Like, and granted, like that's not a profound ass, but like I wrote down a lot of bullshit and a bunch of random shit that made no sense. But that's just one of those things where like wherever my brain went in that moment, like that shit is still to this day relevant and still like in the front of my brain at this point versus like whatever crevice I pulled that shit out of. Like, cause I don't even know where the fuck I heard that from. I probably heard it from somewhere and it just got tucked away. But like while I was tripping, because I made sure I was like writing shit down, like I ended up taking something away from it that is like still to this day affecting me, in a positive way. Like not even on some like, oh, there's some crazy, like I had a fucking epiphany, I live my life different. Nah, it's just a little fucking thing that is like, that's beneficial. Like if I can stack up a whole bunch of those, that equates one fucking crazy ass thing, So I like psychedelics for reasons like that.
I remember last time when I was tripping, and this is literally the very last time I was tripping. I think I took 4 hits of some LSD. It was like I was sitting there and I was just thinking to myself, because this was one of the happiest experiences I've had on acid in such a long time. I was sitting there watching Midnight Gospel, and somewhere in there I started peaking, so I was really having a hard time focusing. So I just paused it, and I was sitting there laying there smiling, looking at the ceiling. And somewhere in there I got in this thought like hole of all the different stuff I've wanted to do for the last few years. And right about the time I was looking at all the stuff I told myself I had to do, I was going to do this with music, I was going to do this with this, I was going to do this with this, and all the stuff that I made out like it wasn't an option because I said I was going to do it. Right at that moment is the time I felt that ego death type thing. So right as that happened, I was no longer thinking about that stuff from my own perspective. I was thinking about that stuff like I was somebody else. And all of a sudden I looked at it and I went, nobody cares. In a good way. Like,
Right.
nobody cares if you don't do what you said you were going to do.
Right.
Because
yeah, we're not... Think about the people. Yeah, like the motherfuckers around you. Like I'm around you all the time. If you was fucking up, I'm gonna tell you.
Correct. And those are the only people I really care about the opinion of anyways. Only because of those reasons. Their opinion is what's best for me. So I do care about their opinion because they're going to objectively look at me from a perspective of, I don't think that's what's best. You do you, bro, but I don't think that's what's best for you.
Yeah, just like you fucking paint your nails. That don't got shit to do with me.
Yo, my nails is pretty right now.
But it's just like if you were like fucking going out on the weekends and punching old ladies, hey, like we not gonna be homies no more. Like that's something where like we gotta talk about that, bro. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like you okay? Like other than that, do your shit. Like I'm very supportive of all my friends, especially or even if they don't do something that I'm like a part of or that I'm doing, because if I'm not, that would become selfish. Like if you had a girlfriend and I didn't fuck with your girlfriend, but she made you happy and you were progressing in life because of that lady, I gotta shut the fuck up. That's still my sis. Like, that's just what the fuck it is. Like, I can, but if she's fucking up or like fucking up your life or causing problems and shit like that, I can say my piece is your homeboy, but that's still your relationship. That's your, that's your responsibility. Do whatever. I can be your friend and support you. That's all I can do. It's almost like a drug addiction. Like, I'm not gonna ever give up on one of my friends. And like, thank God I haven't had like anybody in like later years like really close to me, like shit like that, like develop an addiction or anything like that. But it's like, God forbid or whatever, if some shit like that is to happen, like I'm make sure like I'm that friend that like sticks by you to the end, like almost like RIP DMX, like how some people are just gonna do what the fuck they want to do regardless, like even if it's hurting them, like if it's not hurting you, and like if like I'm trying to think how to, because I don't want it to be like, it's obviously this is not from the same cloth as like the punching old lady shit, but it's like if I have a friend that like develops an addiction or something like that, and like they continue to want to do those things and they're progressing
themselves at that point. If you're punching old ladies, you're hurting old ladies.
Correct. Like if they're doing okay in life and shit like that, and they're like whatever, I'm gonna still support you and just not that, like because at the end of the day, like it's not my life. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm like I just said earlier, like smoking crack and meth is an experience. Never gonna experience that. I'm okay with that. Like,
and I have no intention ever of experiencing crack, meth, or heroin.
Yeah, that's another one.
Can I say for a fact 100% throughout my life with the random ass things I want to understand about this world that I might not try different things at least once? I don't want to say that for a fact because the future is unknown. And I've seen a lot of people who have safely experimented with things even only one time just for the ability to say, well, this is what this is.
Giving it more of a perspective.
So, but at the moment, that perspective is not important enough to me.
Right.
Especially with something like, say, heroin, because of the history within my family with like my dad and stuff like that.
And a lot of shit like that too. Like, I get people doing it for research purposes, but it's like there's so much research already on a lot of that shit. So it's like, I don't gotta do it.
But I'm not actually a researcher. I'm a writer. I'm more of a journalist type thing. So it's
back on the experience thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, at the moment, those experiences are not worth that to me.
Right.
So I don't care right now.
Yeah.
So
your perspective.
And I just have to throw that out there just for the sake of, I guess, I'm very understanding of the places I want to go with this already. So I don't know what the future has to hold. I've changed a lot of perspectives and a lot of things, but I will never ever have a drug problem, and I know that. Right. And you know why I know that? Because it's a choice. I will never make that choice. So
I don't do drugs. I am drugs.
Again, as you like to say, long story long, that whole thing is I don't encourage anybody do things like meth, crack, heroin, even cocaine, which I have done many, many times in my life.
Like me with sipping lean. Like I don't encourage people to do that. Like,
yeah. So, but with that said, I am in favor of the ability to safely acquire all of these things without needing prescriptions and shit like that.
Safely acquire and use. And
if you don't want people doing them in their homes, they still are going to try to do it. But if you can do it just like, say, when heroin addicts and the methadone thing was poorly executed. poorly executed, but they made people go to an environment that was, they were being watched and observed to some degree. You had to take it there, this
Right.
da 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 da. And this has drastically changed with the opioid epidemic, because they start prescribing methadone in pill form and everything. It drastically changed, and now we're seeing a lot of repercussions of this system. But I am in favor of addicts being able to safely figure out their addictions, because
Juice WRLD literally said that he would go to rehab not to stop doing drugs, but to lower his tolerance, because he said he never wanted to stop. Like, it's just like some people literally, like, it's people's fucking choice, bro. Like, people are gonna do it regardless, so I'd rather them do it safely. You know, like, I don't have any issues with people smoking crack if they're not bothering anybody.
and it's crazy if we can educate people and help them find, even if it's a lot of times when they start doing these drugs, there is a benefit to it. There's a reason they start. Nobody starts doing heroin one day because they say, I want to be a heroin addict.
Yeah, no one's ever woke up and said that.
So let's even say it's PTSD. They're taking heroin because it helps them forget. So
Think about the motherfuckers. They used to give people cocaine back in the day to work. Like, if you were a dock worker and you worked overnight shifts, like, they would give you cocaine so you stay up. Like, it was just the norm at the time. Like,
That's
so,
real.
Like, people try to demonize all types of crazy shit like that, but motherfuckers gonna do what they want.
Like, let's say somebody's taking something like heroin for the sake of forgetting because of PTSD. We have the ability now to recognize the problem in the heroin addict. What is the problem? Is it heroin? No, it's PTSD. That's the problem. So how do we help that? There's a lot of ways to help that. And we're experimenting with new ways every day to help that. But now we've found the root of the problem. It's not heroin addiction. The problem is PTSD. The problem is anxiety. The problem is, even if it's back pain, now we're starting to realize my dad, who was a recovered heroin addict, had surgery and took only CBD, I believe, edibles. It wasn't even a psychoactive like THC infused edibles. I believe he used CBD edibles for a lot of his pain management and stuff like that. He took THC edibles to help his sleeping as he was recovered. He took 0 opiates and refused all opioid prescriptions from the doctors, and said he felt no pain and it worked even better. Like, in a lot of these medicines that I heard somebody say, it was I believe it's Hamilton Morris is his name, on a Joe Rogan podcast. He's a psychedelic journalist and stuff like that. White boy with the glasses I was showing you.
Oh, yeah.
He was saying all the drugs that are on that controlled substance list are because of recreational purposes anyways. So it's like, at this point, when you start looking at these drugs like cannabis and stuff like that are so controlled, it's because of recreational purposes. We're ignoring the medicinal value in these. Now we're finding drugs like me and Panda were talking about, MDMA, where they're doing like clinical therapy, where they're having people take MDMA and giving them counseling about their PTSD and their negative memories. And MDMA makes you only feel positive thoughts. So now they're pairing negative memories with positive thoughts, and it's allowing them, no matter when they think about this, it forces them to smile, because it creates a trigger in their brain that produces things like dopamine, just because, and serotonin, just because they're thinking about a negative thought.
And laughter is some of the best medicine on the planet. Like, people actually will, like, you could really laugh off pain, like, depending on what it is, like, especially emotional trauma and shit like that. Like, you're a soldier, you seen half your fucking platoon die on some crazy shit on a mission, like, it's gonna fuck with you for forever. So you gotta learn how to, like, live with that in, like, a constructive, positive way. You're never gonna get over it. There's nothing they can give you to make that go away. Nothing they can give you to make that pain feel better. But you can, like, in your own head, figure out a way to not even compartmentalize it, like you said, like, where it's like you pair with that, like, instead of, like, thinking about the sad thing with them dying, you think about the happy memories of them or some shit like that.
Yes, correct.
Like, it's the same thing like we talk about with addiction. You can't just, I wouldn't, like I bite my nails, I have to start chewing gum or something. I can't just expect to stop doing a bad habit that I've been doing my entire fucking life, damn near. It's not because I'm nervous or whatever. It might be like a little bit of anxiety or something why I bite my nails so much. I just chew on shit. I have oral fixation. Pause. I like chewing on fucking pen caps in school. I was always a kid fucking up my pencils and shit. I fucking always smoking something. Like, I have oral fixation. So how do I stop biting my nails? I have to replace it with a positive habit because the other things that I've been doing have been negative. So same thing like drugs, same thing with PTSD, same thing with any type of trauma. Like you have to replace it with something positive, like shit, maybe go to one of those fucking MDA therapy things, and like it might be a lesser severe thing, but like if it works, it works, you know? So I'm a big advocate of shit like that too. I support all that type of shit. Do some fucking psychedelics and get watched by some professionals for fucking 12 hours.
That shit's cool
like,
as hell.
Cry it out. Like, I don't fucking know. Whatever the fuck you need to do. Scream it out. I don't fucking, like, you'll be fine. Like, and you can't fucking OD. That's another thing people also got to understand. Like, because that's the issue with going back to the black community thing. We have a lack of knowledge about it in the black community typically. So, like, we just don't fuck with it. Like, I didn't know that I couldn't fucking OD on mushrooms or fucking LSD until I was like damn near grown. Like I was like fucking 17, 18 before I was like ever had done any of them. But I was like not grown, but like I wasn't a kid anymore. It's fucking 17, 18. Like I was pretty acclimated to life by then. And I found out then I was like, oh shit. And that kind of took a lot of the fear away, you know. And then I started seeing like rappers like A$AP Rocky. He has a fucking song called LSD, and the whole video is trippy as hell. There's no way you could make a video like that or be a part of a video like that and not understand tripping, at least a tiny bit.
I do really appreciate what he has done with just psychedelics and the perception of them in that whole hip-hop community, because he's been very open. And I do real quick just have to take a moment, because it's just one of those things I have to do, to talk about the whole overdosing on psychedelics thing. Everybody does just have to understand that when people do say things like you can't overdose on psychedelics, there is no real known documented death as a result of LSD toxicity and overdose, psilocybin toxicity and overdose. This is not to say that you should try to be a wild person and go eat 1 pound of mushrooms and think you're not going to die. You quite possibly will.
Yeah, don't be the person to die off mushrooms. Yeah, just like weed. Like yeah. There's
another one. We say because it is a negligible fact that it's possible because we don't know. We've never reached that amount.
Bro, so the shit they're making now. I hit a dab. I be feeling like I'm about to die. Like
people even passing out in living rooms.
So going back, you hit your fucking head and die. Don't die off drugs, please. Please don't don't get high and die.
I heard a guy talking about that drug, crocodile or whatever.
That Florida shit.
Yes, correct. That Florida shit. You know what was making it eat people's flesh was not the drug. That's I saw a guy break down the drug. He was talking about. He's like, that's flesh eating is not a side effect of that drug. That's a side effect of phosphorus toxicity within the drug due to it being made poorly and bad, like with bad lab and equipment environments, people who don't know what they're doing properly. He was like, honestly, he said something about if that drug was actually available safely for people, clean, pure, it does have medicinal benefits. He said it's a Schedule 2, it's prescribable.
Wow.
That's just
if
people,
it's made properly and dosed properly.
But of course, they don't want to tell us that there's another version of this drug that's being prescribed to people. They're just going to say, crocodile, bad drug. This is something that's on the streets, designer. No, it was people trying to make something that really did possibly have this benefit that's not understood yet.
It's just like why the government has patents on all this fucking medicinal weed shit, but it's still illegal on a federal level. Like, you're playing a game. I get it. Whatever. Play your game. I'll participate.
There's yet the conspiracy theories that I don't really know the credibility in any of them, that like all these different things that truly can help with cancer, AIDS, HIV, and there's apparently like medical groups that know these things can actually help this stuff in real ways, and we're not using them because of why. Now, of course, like I said, I don't know the truth in all these conspiracies 100%, but
would I be inclined, half the shit
there's no money in the cure, so there's a lot of money in a treatment if it's something that's treatable.
And what do we know? Business.
So, that is very true. But, oh, man.
But yeah, that's just one of those things. Like, I mean, even like whenever I first heard about shit like that, I just think that you see fucking leprechauns come out of the different color leprechauns come out of the wall and they dance in the room and all other types of dumb shit. Like, man. I never thought that once I actually tripped, I was like, this is what the fuck it is. This shit is fucking awesome. Like, I was scared. I was nervous a little bit the first time I tripped. And honestly, I feel like people that are nervous or scared, you probably should not trip the first. Like, Get comfortable first. Like that was probably a bad
The-
decision on my part. I got lucky. But.
The environment, the setting, the people around you, your state of mind, everything, especially, and I will say, I'm not trying to take this away from any drug. All psychedelics are very sensitive to these factors. LSD with your environment, as in my experience, has always been so much more.
Key.
My mind is almost worse for me on mushrooms than my environment. My environment can almost help take me out of my head, honestly, a little bit on mushrooms, whereas
Ooh.
my environment throws me in my fucking head on LSD.
God damn, that's a very good way of putting that. Because like I said, the mushrooms experience I had, that was probably the last time I've taken like at least a decent amount of mushrooms. Yeah, it was like I said, like my appreciation for nature after that, fucking astronomical, because my setting, my environment and shit like that. I was outside of the city that I'm used to being in, around like the homies shit. Everything was real chill. My homeboy's crib was nice as fuck. So it was just like, everything was real, like the vibe. Everybody had like their own separate buds so we could smoke the whole trip, like food and shit. Like we were stocked up. We was ready, We turned that little shit like into a little cabin in the woods damn near in our head, Nothing was around us really. Like, but it just made that entire trip better because like I was very much so in my head at various points because like I said, I was like trying to write shit down and like kind of keep that track of like, oh, okay, what am I thinking about? Why am I thinking about this? What can I, like just random shit. Like I couldn't even tell you my fucking thought process right and have that shit down because most of it didn't fucking make sense. But I got a lot out of the trip, and I appreciated a lot of shit more after it.
I will say this one of the most amazing things because we have the same thoughts to some degree all day long, but we're too busy to take the time to even really necessarily do the thing like write them down, and then even later we don't necessarily take the time to go back and read them if we do journal them. It's more we just journal them and forget about them a lot of times, and they're just in this book. But psychedelics put you in this one place, physically in this one place for so extended of a period of time,
right?
That you now can't go get distracted from these thoughts. You have to keep thinking about them and keep thinking about them and keep thinking about them.
Coming. Them bitches coming. I'm gonna have to go back and read that fucking little journal because I was just writing random shit in there.
I went back and was reading my original barista journal from that time period, and it was wild to read some of the names and the people that were in my life that I haven't talked to in a long time and why I felt the way I did about certain things at that time. It was very, very, it was a whole different person.
You were teleporting damn near.
I swear to God, it was time travel. It was time travel.
Yeah. For real.
It was true, real time travel.
Like I said with my buddy, like I can literally feel the energy of his excitement right now. Or as I was telling the story about him talking about the fucking blade of grass thing, like it just takes you back. Like it's like hearing a song, like it might take you back to a certain time in your childhood because that's just what the fuck was on the radio whenever you were in the car with your mom that day. Whenever you're going wherever the fuck you were going. Like to make that memory. I don't know. It's crazy how the brain does shit like that. So whenever you're tripping, that shit just be coming out like fucking popping like popcorn. Like,
well, we are about to have to start wrapping this up. This shit goes quick. This is not a game.
That last, I mean, yeah. I feel like we did.
Do you know how long would you think that says without looking back there?
Oh, probably. I feel like we've been talking 30 minutes.
54. We've been talking for 54 minutes.
I feel like we've been talking fucking 30 minutes.
Time flies. Time flies.
I swear. After the dogs chilled out a little bit, I guess it just kind of calmed down.
It's a true rabbit hole.
I swear. We definitely went down a rabbit hole. We didn't really talk about too much black psychedelic shit, but y'all get the gist. I'm a black man. I've done psychedelics.
That is the danger of that rabbit hole, because that rabbit hole does not mean we're going down the rabbit hole of black psychedelics. We're going down the rabbit hole of psychedelics. We're going down the rabbit hole of life. We are going down a rabbit hole of conversation. Mm-hmm. There's no script. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. This is how everybody talks in their day-to-day life when they're just sitting at home. They just don't reflect on it. Mm-hmm. This is pre-laid out conversation where people can literally just sit there and learn. They don't have to worry about what's being said. It's already been said. It's only reflecting.
Facts.
So it's cool. It's different. It's very.
Yeah, I like this vibe though.
It's fun.
It was very chill. Very comfortable vibe.
And now we're about to wrap it up, and I wanna go see what bro's doing, see if he wants to smoke a blunt with us.
to say.
So if y'all could do me a favor though, hit that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. It's down there in the bottom right corner of the video. Like, comment, all that. If you're listening to it as a podcast, subscribe, follow, feedback if you can, all that good stuff. You'll be notified whenever I drop a new episode. Go ahead, follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. I got a website too with a blog paired to it. It's trhpodcast.com. That will be down below. So if you go check out my blog, it's like a personal journal, random thoughts and stuff like that, deep feelings and topics. Just please go ahead, support me, follow me, check it out. Community has been very awesome so far, so I'm really interested to see where this goes. Let me know if y'all would like to see more of, as we call him in the podcast community, Bacca. There's a story behind that. You'll find out later. It's not.
It'll all make sense.
That's his business, not my business. Mind the business that pays you.
Nah, you can mind that business because technically the businesses, all the businesses are. We're a conglomerate, if y'all haven't realized.
So I don't want nobody take no ideas. But with that said, I appreciate everybody.
Take your kneecaps.
Let me know if you like more Bach on the show, and leave me some feedback, support, all that good stuff. Thank you very, very much. I'll see y'all later.